All right. Should be all hooked up. And we are live for quarter four. Q4. Wow, I can't believe we're already here. Um, it is absolutely amazing. And I will be diving into something for the next 3 months that I'm super excited about. I will share the results of it after 3 months. It is definitely something for my business that I think is going to be impactful. And if it's impactful, going to be very excited to share it with everyone. So um, today I wanted to talk about some personal, so like some self reflection, some personal inventory questions to ask yourself, and then some very important skills that entrepreneurs need. And these skills actually can cross over to, life skills as well, not just for an entrepreneur. So, for anyone who is catching this on the replay, would love to hear any comments, questions that you have if you do any of these. Um, but so, some personal self inventory questions that I have been diving down myself and also with the people that I do work with. So, the number one question, and again, this can be for personal or this can be for professional growth. It's called personal self inventory because it's directly about you. But like I always say, we wear two hats. We have, one hat is our personal, one hat is our professional self. We are one whole being. So, what values are most important to you as a person? And of course, that answer is going to be different for a lot of people. Some people are going to have a lot of values, some people are going to have a couple of values. For me, I would say the most important values for me in that I seek in other people, one is honesty, two is integrity, three is authentic. Like, I want to know that the person that I'm having a conversation with is the same person throughout all planes of their life. I don't want someone to be, this person over here and that person over there and that person over there. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't, hey, good morning, Annette. Thanks for joining. Now, that doesn't mean as you're taking this personal inventory, like what values are most important to you, it doesn't mean that you're not going to gauge your verbiage, your communication style based on your audience, because you're going to, right? A way that you would speak with your family probably isn't a way that you would necessarily speak with coworkers or in the workplace or possibly even online. Maybe it is, right? That's your own personal value choice. So that's a really important question to ask yourself. And um, other values that are important to me besides those personal ones is, you're just a kind person. Consideration is a big one for me. Like, I want to surround myself with people that are considerate of the environment, people that are considerate of other people. And yes, we need to take care of ourselves as we go through life. We need to, have good self care. We need to have good boundaries, but that doesn't mean we have to do so um, in a way that negatively impacts those around us. So that can be a really loaded question to ask yourself. Um, Another one, and this is one that is oftentimes asked in job interviews, but it's not one typically that people think about on a regular basis. But what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Right? Um, people are, when I ask that question with the people that I work with, they're usually able to like phew, rapid shoot out the weaknesses, right? Because everyone can really be down on themselves. Everyone can see the negative, but a lot of people have a really hard time with the positives, like what their strengths are. And I would say for me, my biggest weakness in my opinion, is socializing. Um, I am not typically a very talkative person. I'm not very knowledgeable on a lot of subjects because I just don't care to be. Um, but and so oftentimes in like social situations, I'm extremely quiet and that makes other people uncomfortable, but I'm extremely quiet because I'm just an extremely quiet person. Um, I can go for hours and not talk to even the person that I'm with, or I can be a chatty Cathy and talk up a storm. Um, but the socializing piece, understanding, socializing, understanding, not saying the wrong thing because I'll blurt out anything. Um, so I would say my social awkwardness is my greatest weakness. Um, my greatest strength or my strengths are I'm extremely independent. I'm self-reliant. Being in business 17 years for myself, I've had to be. Um, I am a kind person. I am a considerate person. I am very good with my own boundaries and understanding what I can do, when I can do it, and how I can do it, and what I can't do and why I can't do it. Communication is a strength of mine. So that's a really great question, to ponder for yourself and journal about it. Open up a notebook and just give yourself time to sit down and reflect what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Because the weaknesses can be turned into strengths with actionable steps, right? I try all the time when I'm socializing to improve my social skills, right? But the larger the group, the larger the intimate group of people that I'm around, meaning, people that are like interacting with each other, um, the quieter I get because I don't know, I just don't ever feel like what I have to say people care to listen to. Um, so I just get quieter. And it doesn't mean that I don't laugh at jokes or, maybe say like a snarky joke or something like that, but I tend to be very quiet. Um, and that's okay. That's just me as a person. I tend to be a quiet person anyways. Even with my kids, I'm not, a chatty mom. I'm just a quiet person. So, hey David, thanks for hopping on. Um, we're going through personal inventories today for personal growth, jumping into quarter four, um, becoming the best version of ourselves for the last 3 months. Um, Also, as you're taking the personal self inventory and asking yourself these questions, what kinds of things do you enjoy doing? A lot of people that I talk to, they don't actually even know what they enjoy. And oftentimes it's because they've lost themselves with taking care of this one, taking care of that one, being a mom, being a dad, being the best son, being the best daughter. And along the way, they have lost the things that they enjoy doing. A lot of people don't have hobbies. I would recommend that people have hobbies, something that is just for you, that you look forward to doing simply because you enjoy doing it. Now, it can have an outcome if you enjoy painting and you enjoy painting pictures, like obviously that's going to be something that you're going to get. Or if something you enjoy doing is sitting by your favorite body of water and just watching the sun reflect off, listening to the birds, whether it's a river, a stream, a brook, a pond, an ocean, a lake, like whatever body of water, um, and like be in that moment, but do it because you enjoy it. So I encourage and I challenge everyone that do not have a hobby to get a hobby in Q4 and do that hobby regularly for the next 12 weeks and let me know how it has changed your life. I'd be interested. I'd be interested. I have many hobbies. I find joy in the very simple things. So for me, when I'm out driving, I'm always aware of nature. Yesterday, when I came home from food shop and I turned around I opened the back of my car to get the stuff out, and I turned around and there was a bunny like 7 feet from me. Now we have bunnies all over our yard, but I think they've become used to us now, so it just sat there, like, 7 feet from me. It just sat there and just watched me, and I just slowly went about my business so I didn't startle it, and it stayed there the whole time. That's really cool. This morning when I went out, we live near conservation land, so we have lot of creatures, that come through our yard, that come through the backyard, and come through our neighborhood. But this morning, as I was getting in my car to drive my son to the bus, I hear the screeching of a hawk. I couldn't see it, but I could hear it, and I that's one of my hobbies, is just going out into nature and just enjoying nature, just being present with nature, and just watching the beauty of it. It's just amazing. So, another question, this is going to be a hard one for a lot of people as you go through. I have 7 questions in total for the personal self inventory. Another question that you can ask yourself is, when have you felt most successful? When in your life have you felt most successful? And um, for me, it's 2 things in my life that I have felt most successful. One is, the work that I do, being a licensed social worker, a licensed therapist, a life coach, business coach, all of those things. I have been very successful with that, and actually just got off a call with a private client, um, and, they they did something that not a lot of people do, is they gave me feedback on our work together and how it has impacted them and how it has created the change that they were looking for. Now, I just give people the tools. I explain how to use the tools, and it's up to people to use the tools, right? But, it's always such a beautiful gift to me when people are able to, online we call it testimonials. When people are able to give me that feedback and let me know how our work together has impacted them, whether it's been helpful or not. Like, it's always helpful to hear, like, you're not the person for me. Like, and here's the reasons why, and that happens. That happens often too. But I would say my professional, identity and my identity as a mom are the 2 areas that I feel most successful. Um, my kids know that I love them. I show them. I make them feel that way. I verbally make them like, in all the ways that matter, my kids know that I love them, and, there's nobody else that comes before them. But they also see me have really good boundaries with myself. They also see me taking care of myself. They also see me, getting together with my friends, doing things for myself. I love to go out and do things by myself. So they see me doing all that stuff. So passing that around is very important. And actually, my daughter has started to adopt um, a self care day. She decided that working 3 days and going to school 2 days was too much for her, as well as, trying to balance going to school, balance time with her friends, balance time with her boyfriend, balance times with her family. It was just too much to do the 5 day because she has homework to do also. So she decided to take Thursdays off, and I truly believe it was the best decision for her. So she does whatever she wants on Thursday. She does a little bit of homework. She does whatever she wants. She sleeps in. So I love that she's doing that for herself. She has really found a good balance for herself, and she's working to tweak it to add a little bit more Trisha time, um, because she doesn't have enough, like, disconnected Trisha time. Um, so, we talked about that yesterday, and she's gonna incorporate that into her week this week, and she's gonna do it for 2 weeks, and we're gonna see how she feels. Oh, and that I can believe that, when my daughter drove out of the driveway the first time in a car that I was not in, because she did 99% of her driving with me as she was learning, um, it was gut-wrenching. I was not prepared for how hard that was, and actually, every single time she leaves in that car, I I say to my grandmother who has passed away, I say to my grandmother, "Please watch over her and please bring her back to me safe." I believe in that. I believe that, my grandmother's here with me. I believe that my grandfather's here with me. I believe that, my son's godmother watches over us as well. So, yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's very overwhelming, to watch that, and I know that you've done it with your own kids. Um, Another question to ask yourself in the personal self-inventory, what has been your best learning experience? And I would have to answer that coming into building an online business 2 years ago in 2021, um, I was not prepared for the hard, challenging things that I would have to go through for my mindset and questioning because I know myself pretty well as a person. So I was not prepared at all for how much building an online business would would really really impact me. So I would say over the past 2 years, my greatest learning experience has been deepening my understanding of who I am, how I am, why I am, and why the things that I am not, why I'm not. So I would say that these past 2 years has been my best learning experience, and it's understanding myself better has been my best learning experience. Um, so a next question, do you work best along or with others? Now, I would say either one because I can work well with other people that I'm working with, or I can work well independently side by side with them. Um, because I think because my personality is so easygoing, not that I don't have opinions and not that I don't have things that I stand for and things that I am against, but I'm a very easygoing person. So um, I can be in a room with mixed people, mixed personalities, mixed temperaments, and function quite fine. It doesn't necessarily mean that I like everyone that I'm working alongside. Um, and you don't have to, but I can. And and the number one most important personal self-inventory question that everybody should ask themselves is what is your communication style? Because it is so important to understand how you verbalize your thoughts, feelings, wants, desires, and how you're best able to receive others' thoughts, wants, feelings, and desires. Communication is the number one thing that will make or break any relationship. If you can't communicate your feelings, if you can't communicate what someone has done that you want them to keep doing, someone has done something that you want them to stop, if you can't communicate it in an effective, assertive way, and if you can't hear and receive what other people are saying, then that's going to break down any relationship that you're in. And that's how, hurt feelings kind of linger. That's how grudges can get brought up. That's how grudges can get built and build and build and build and become bigger and bigger and bigger. There is a book that I recommend to a lot of people that I work with, and it's the 5 love languages. And it really helps you understand what your love language is. And it really helps you understand the love languages of those around you. and it can help you understand why the relationships are what they are based on those love languages. So I encourage anyone to check that book out. There's also like love languages um, for couples. I'm not sure if there's one for parenting, but um, it's really incredible. So after you do the self inventory, um, you can dive down a little bit into what type of personality do you have and what type of temperament do you have. Those are very important too, because that's going to help you understand why you feel how you feel, why how you respond how you respond, why other people kind of like just irk you, why other people don't. It's going to help you understand yourself even more. So, what are the 5 top skills that every entrepreneur needs in order to succeed? 1, you need time management skills. You have to be able to work effectively. You have to be able to work effectively for yourself to show up as your best employee so that you're getting things done, so that you're moving the needle in your business, so that you're not feeling burnt out doing things that are not necessarily important. So, time management, number 1. Um, the ability to have sales and be comfortable doing that, um, because most businesses, you're selling something, right? Um, so you have to be comfortable telling people what it is that you have and how much it is, and being comfortable with valuing yourself and asking for the price that you are um, worthy of asking. Another important skill for every entrepreneur to have is an end of day reflection. And that's where you take a look at what can I learn from today? Take a look back at your business plan. Take a look back at your um, take a look back at your like your daily plan, your daily action plan, your daily to-do list, whatever you call it. I'm just going to call it business plan, and that is going to be the strategies that you have broken down that you need to do every single day in order for your business to keep moving forward. Now, some of these things on the personal level, so how to be your best adult self, right? I mean, we're doing so many tasks on a weekly basis: laundry, food shopping, cooking, cleaning, managing other people's things, our finances. Like, we have so many different hats as people in our personal lives, right? So many different hats. So, think of all the things that you do in a day. You don't need to list out, well, it's time for me to brush my teeth. Well, it's time for me to get dressed. Like, we don't need to list out all those things because through our growing up, those have just become daily habits, right? Just daily habits, just things that we do. Our body grumbles. We know we need lunch. We go get lunch, right? Um, Speaking of lunch, I made a delicious taco soup and I can't wait to have it for lunch as my stomach starts to grumble. Um, so give those a thought. Give those some serious thought and do a lot of self-reflection over the next couple of days and really take a look at the strengths and weaknesses one, and because you can apply that to all those other categories, and where you find that you have a weakness, bring it up to a strength, right? Where you have a strength, let that shine. Talk about that strength. So that is the powerful podcast of Monday, Q4. Um, I need to think of something to call my podcast, and I would love some input, some ideas, people that have been listening for a while, people that are here in my group, people that may know me a little bit, like what what would be a really calling, reflective thing to call my podcast. I don't want to call it something like with mindset because it's more than just mindset. Um, so yeah, I've been trying to think of a cool name. Someone asked me yesterday what the name of my podcast was, and I was like, Colleen Ducharme. So I think I'd like to name it something, I don't know, something cool. So any ideas, I'd love them all. Throw them in the group. But that's it for today, Monday, October 2nd. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you so much for checking it out. And I will be back next Monday. Hope everyone has a beautiful week. Thank you, Annette. Yeah, give it some thought. You know me really well at this point. Um, and have a great rest of your Monday, everyone. I'm going to go eat some taco soup.